Hello, 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 ladies. This podcast is designed exclusively for you. This is her talk show where we dive into inspiring thoughts, ideas, and stories, all with one purpose to empower and uplift women like you. I'm Sabrina Victoria, your host and guide on this journey of self discovery and growth. I invite you to hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. Together, we are creating a vibrant community of empowered women. Get ready to unleash your brilliance. Her talk show starts now.
We come to you every day with the best speakers, relationship coaches, spiritual mentors, trailblazers, business owners, authors, young hustlers, podcasters, entrepreneurs, fitness trainers, therapists, financial advisors, and more. We ask our guests one question. What do you know that I don't know? Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
For this episode of Her Talk Show, we have had over 500 women grace this stage, and we are adding another one to the list today. If you're listening live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so we can send you some love in the comments. Either way, if you are watching us, please share this video so we can get more eyes and more ears on the awesome content that we are going to share today. Today, we are talking to an amazing woman, Duanita Norman. She is a personal trainer and nutrition coach who helps women who are 50 plus to gain and maintain the healthy lifestyle that they want to live. She has been involved in fitness for over 40 years and coaching for 14 years. Duanita believes everyone should have the opportunity to live a great life, yes, and has started, and this starts with being as healthy as you can be. Super, super excited to have Duanita here today. Welcome.
Thank you, Sabrina. I am so thrilled to be here, and thank you for having me today.
Yes, I so appreciate it. You know, this is, I think, a topic that a lot of us struggle with. Health and wellness. Girl, there's so many goodies.
I know.
So much stuff in our face all the time, and we be hungry.
Yes.
And we're in a rush.
Yes.
Doing all the things all the time. So I'm super excited to dive into this with you. I know that you are a complete expert in this field, and you've been doing it a long time. So you've seen all the excuses, you've seen all the things, you know what we're dealing with because you've heard it all. So super excited to dive into healthy living on your terms.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So with healthy living on your terms, over the years, what I've learned is it starts with one key ingredient, one main thing. And it's the main thing that we all don't do. We start on our health journey. Some of us go on diets, we change our eating, we start exercising, we do all those things. And then somehow it dies off in the end. And the reason being is this. This is one of those things where you need to look at the end first. Where is it you really want to be? Where do you want to be in your health journey? Because once you've established where you want to be, you also need to look at where you are, because the game changer is in the middle. The middle is where you have to decide, what am I willing to do to get there? Because what I have found is 9 times out of 10, the ideal that you have over there is not where you're going to be, because what you need to get there, you're not willing to make all those sacrifices. And so then what happens is when you go along the way, it drops off because you see, oh, I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to get there. So you say, well, it's not worth it. And you stop. So the goal is you need to get the realistic versus the idealistic. And then maybe once you get to realistic, sometimes if the idealistic isn't too far away, you will get there. But it has got to be a reality. It's got to be real. So that's the main thing. You have got to take a realistic look at where you're really going, what you're really willing to do. Now, the 3 things that incorporates are, of course, exercise, how you eat, and the third component is, how do you live? How are you living? What are the things that you're not willing to live without? What are the things that you have to have? What are the things you can say goodbye to? What are the things going on in your life, whether it be kids, husband, whether it be empty nester? What are those things? Because all those healthy lifestyle things that you don't take into consideration are the very things why you also stop on your journey because they get in the way and you don't even see it. And we are a society that has not been taught how to take care of our health. From a very young age, we are taught so many things. We are taught, okay, you got to go to school, you got to go to college, get an education. You've got to get a career. We are taught how to plan our career, how we get to the next move, the next position. We are taught to plan for retirement. We do that all our lives. If we have kids, we plan college, we save money. We do not plan our health. We do not plan our health. And the thing about not planning our health, which is really kind of ironic, is it's the very thing that can make or break what kind of retirement you have. Because if you do not have good health in your retirement, and trust me, I have come across cases like this where people have saved money for retirement. And when it was time to retire, one person had dementia. So now all these trips and everything they wanted to go on, they can't because that person needs to be cared for. And so if we don't take care of ourselves, it's not going to be there. And I always say you can leave this life one of three ways: standing on your own 2 feet, sitting in a chair, or lying down. It's up to you how you want to do it. It's up to you what you choose to do. And we are in a society now where we, like you said, we have so many things at our disposal. We have choices. We can decide how we're going to do this, you know? And so many people, somebody will go on something that somebody else did. Well, this didn't work for me. She said it would work for me. It's not working for you because you don't have her life. It's not working for you because you don't have her life. You need to work for your life and see what's going to work for you. And so that's what I've seen over the years. And women, it happens to us the most because we have so much on our plates. You know, we have so much on our plates and we're so busy running that we don't take the time to take stock in ourselves. And truth be told is that you are only as good for everybody else as you are for yourself. You don't take care of you, you can only take care of everybody else, but only so well. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love what you're saying here as far as realistic versus idealistic. And what this reminds me of is something that was actually really freeing for me was Mel Robbins. I heard her maybe 5 years ago, and she said her whole life she wanted a six pack her whole life. She was going on all these crazy yo-yo diets trying to get the six pack. And then one day she sat back and she's like, what do I want more? Do I want, I don't know what she said, like donuts or do I want a six pack? And she's like, I had to come to a realization in my life to like let go of the guilt and the shame and the like heaviness of the yo-yoing to get the six pack and realize I like to eat donuts.
Right. Exactly.
And like, if I like to eat donuts and I'm not willing to work out the way a person who eats a donut needs to work out in order to get that six pack, I'm not going to get that six pack. So I just had to come to a realization of like, what do I want more? And then just be good with it.
Right.
So she still takes care of herself.
Right.
She still is very fit, but she's dropped the shame and the guilt that go along with needing the six pack.
Exactly.
She enjoys a donut every once in a while or whatever it was, you know?
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
And you saying that too, I feel like gives freedom to some people because it is so true. Like when you think of your ideal, when I shouldn't project, when I think of my ideal, it is somebody who's like in a bikini with like perfect round breasts and like a washboard stomach and just the right size booty. But the work that it takes to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you really willing to do it? And fitness and healthy is different for everybody. That's the thing. It's different for everyone. It depends on where you are in life. And it is freeing, like you said, because what a lot of people also don't realize is that when you stress yourself out, because people stress themselves out over how they want to look and how they want to eat, you release in your stomach an enzyme called cortisol.
Okay.
Cortisol is an enzyme. It's a protection, but what it does is it bloats you. It's a protection, but it bloats you. Cortisol, when you stress, cortisol gets released and it bloats you. And I can't tell you for how many years, like I had to rewire people in their thinking because, and women, we tend to do it more than anyone else. We think we're bloated because we're eating so much. We're eating so much. And I find out most are not eating enough. You're not even eating enough. So what's happening is you've thrown your body into starvation mode. And now what it's supposed to let go of, it won't let go of. And when it doesn't let go of it, it turns to fat anyway. You think it's because you're bloating because you're eating. No, you're bloating because you are stressing all over the place. That cortisol is releasing itself. You are bloated. But see, they don't know about the cortisol, right? They just think they're being bloated. And then the thing is with cortisol, the only way to get rid of it is to de-stress. You can't dial back on food. You have to figure out how to take the stress down in your life to get rid of the cortisol. And that's where it comes, is in your belly. So a lot of women are thinking they're eating too much. Some of them are eating 900 calories. And I'm like, no, that's not it. You are stressing. And I've had to work with people and let's talk about how we de-stress. What's doing this? This is what I mean about the healthy lifestyle habits, the healthy living, is you've got to look at your life and say, what is it that's stressing me out? Because that's very well what is affecting your body. And the unfortunate part is the cortisol is just scratching the surface. You and I both know stress does so many other things to your body. People have muscle pains, muscle aches, heart conditions, and everything else. And it all comes down to stress. So your body gets affected by that too, and it bloats. And a lot of people just don't know that. Oh, I can't hear you.
So speaking of stress, what can you give us some like tips on how to distress? Like, do you have a one or two little nuggets that you can give us as far as how to de-stress?
Yeah.
Some of us are stressed.
So, to de-stress, and most of us get stressed probably at work, right? And that's the hardest place to de-stress from. But you can do simple things even at work. I mean, I know I've worked in the corporate world too. I haven't been a trainer all my life. So this is why I can help people with, corporate stuff too. Sometimes you just got to go to the bathroom and just take a few minutes and get in a stall. Yeah. Just go in the stall and take a few minutes. If you have a phone that has some music on it, just take a few minutes and go in a stall. If you have the ability to leave your office and go sit in your car, go sit in your car for a few minutes. You don't have to be there for forever, but it's better to take a few minutes instead of letting it mount up all day long and then taking it home too.
Yeah.
Just take a few minutes. Another great way we all know is to exercise. Exercise is a great stress reliever. And guess what? You don't have to do the exercise where you're panting and your muscles are aching and your joints are crying out like crazy. No, you don't have to do that type of exercise. Exercise could be going out and just doing a walk, just doing a walk around the building, maybe do an interval walk, maybe so you're not thinking about it. Walk slow, walk fast, walk slow, walk fast. So it takes your mind off of what's going on in that office. Because ironically enough, when we exercise a lot of times, because we have to concentrate on what we're doing, what was going on back there kind of leaves us. And then when we look at it again, our perspective is a little bit different on what we saw before because we're not in it the same way we were at the moment that it happened. Things like having a cup of tea, a cup of herbal tea just at home. When you come home from the day before you start anything else, just go in your room, close the door. I've done that. Go in the room, close my door. I'll be out when I'm out in a few minutes, have a cup of tea and de-stress before I have to come out and work with everyone at home because I don't want to bring what's home from work home with me. And those are very holistic things. I try to stay away from things where people have to take things because I think if we really think about it, we can de-stress ourselves. And then we have to ask ourselves, why are we stressing too? Is it something that I can change? If I can't change, we need to let the stress go. If I can't change it, then the stress needs to be let go.
Yeah.
Because I'm stressing over something that I have no effect on whatsoever. So you just need to let it go anyway. But it's baby steps, but it's like taking steps throughout the day when you get stressed and recognizing that you are stressed, because that's the other key part. People don't even recognize that they're stressed. They think they're supposed to be like this. They're supposed to be running around like this and all crazy. And it's not supposed to be like that. That's not how life is supposed to be. So
Yeah.
recognizing it first and then just taking a minute, just saying, I'll be back. I got to go to the ladies' room. Who's going to stop you from going to the ladies' room?
Yeah.
Go in a stall, take a few minutes, take your phone with you, plug in just for a few minutes, get yourself together, and then go back out there.
Yeah. We have a Facebook, I guess, comment. If you don't, can you read this out loud for the audio?
Yes. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
I'm battling perforated diverticulum, and the main cause is stress at home. Not even having the privacy to take time in the bathroom. Yes, stress is a killer. It is. Not even having time to take privacy in the bathroom. So I guess the question would be, if you can't take privacy in the bathroom, I guess my first question would be, what is standing in the way of that?
Mm.
What is standing in the way of taking time in the bathroom? It could be kids, I don't know. But that would be the first thing, is what is standing in the way of taking time in the bathroom?
Yeah. And speaking on that, which if you are still watching live, if you can respond, I'll pull it back
Yes.
up on the screen. But kids is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. Summer break is here. It's just now ending, but not getting a chance to breathe. 3 kids at home, and it's just nonstop. What would be some advice for that?
This thing with kids at home is, now if they're working from home too, it may be a little bit challenging, but is there some type of activity the 3 of them could be in, or could you take them out for a few hours? I know that I would devise activities to keep them busy, because I needed that time, because it does get hectic with 3 kids. I have 1. So 3 is a little bit hectic.
Yeah.
And being able, even if there's an older one, can the older one somehow corral the other 2
Yeah.
and keep them busy? Can they play a game together? Because kids, even when they're kids, they do like to have responsibility, because they like it when you put your trust in them. So if you have an older one that you can have help the other 2, if they all can play a game together or something like that, just to give you some time. Because also when they're home in the summer, I know with a lot of parents too, they want to spend time with their kids.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the time they have with them. So they do want to spend time with them, but you are going to need time throughout the day, even at dinner time, depending on how old they are. Get them to help you with dinner.
Yeah.
Get them to help you. Let them get involved. Kids like to be involved. They do like to be involved, and they like to do what their parents are doing.
Yeah. And up to a certain age, they don't really recognize that it's like work.
Right.
I think until like maybe age 10, even cleaning,
They'll
it's
do it.
like fun. Yeah. Like 4, 5, 7, they're all about vacuuming and dusting.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, they think it's fun. And with something that you said, made me think of this. I don't know what, but what I also have one child. I have a son. He's now 19, but I would designate at a certain time, predominantly maybe in the morning, when I would take him to the park and wear him out.
Yes.
Like I would not sit. I would be running around, chasing, playing tag, having fun, laughing, tickle fights. And then this little bit of time, maybe an hour and a half, would guarantee me,
Mm-hmm.
a 2-hour nap.
Right.
Or if you're going to work and then that little bit between, but then they're not going to bed till 10, make that a part where you go to the park for 45 minutes and just wear them out, just run all over the place. And then they'll be in bed by 7:30 sleeping.
There you go. And
Yeah.
that's what you do. You keep them active.
Yeah.
Yes, you try and keep them active because kids have a lot of energy.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah, they have a lot of energy. So if you can find a way to expend that energy, it gives you time.
Yeah.
And you're right. Absolutely.
For sure. I know that you have a key question that you posed to your community and your clients in order to have and maintain a healthy lifestyle. What's that question?
The key question that I ask them is, I say to them, first of all, the key question when they first come to me is, and why are you here?
Ooh.
Why are you here? And the second one is, and why now?
Okay.
Because you'd be surprised, people they don't really think about it. And I want to know why, because I need to know why you're here. I need to know why now so I can best help you. But they really don't think about it. They think they kind of look at first and they go, well, I just think it's time. Why is it time? Because see, that's the commitment level right there, because they don't even know how committed they are until we get to those questions. Why is this the time? So is this, why are you here? And why is this the time? Why are you here now?
Absolutely. Is there a wrong answer?
There's not a wrong answer.
Okay.
That's the thing, right? Because there can't be a wrong answer because everybody's different. However, I won't say there's a wrong answer, but there are some answers that I get that I will ask you to take a look at, because deep down inside, if you're not doing this, if your answer does not center around your health and being better for you, if it's all about someone else, then that's going to be a challenge, because down the road, you're going to stop. If it's for something like, oh, I have a reunion to go to, or I have this to do, that's not a wrong answer, but the question I would have is, so you have this reunion to go to, yet. So what happens after that? We just gonna cut for the reunion? Like, is that all? To get somebody to really think about it, because people sometimes don't realize, that can be a reason, but is that enough of a reason for you to go onto a health journey? Is that enough of a reason for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle? And I let them know, because if you want to do this for a reunion and we get there, trust you me, you're not going to want to go backwards, because you feel great.
Yeah.
You feel great. So I want you to think about that right now. If that's your goal right now, that's fine. But I'm telling you, we may have to adjust it down the road, because as people begin to feel great, they do not want to go backwards. I'm feeling good. My knees don't ache. I can walk around the block now where I couldn't walk before without huffing and puffing. I don't want to go backwards. So I always leave it open that, yes, that's your goal now, but it can always be adjusted. And I'm just want to manage your expectations about that now.
Pivot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have, in all your years of experience, are you finding like a main denominator in the way that people are, let's say, eating?
So the main thing with people eating is that they want to do everything so fast.
Okay.
We live in this society, and that becomes the problem. The problem with the main crux of the problem with eating is that we want to go buy it here. We want to go buy it there. And the thing that they don't understand is, even the foods you buy that are packaged, you can go buy the ready to eat, like it might be a piece of salmon with some green beans or whatever the case may be. Okay. If you ever turn it over, you will see everything they had to put in to preserve it, so you would be able to get it to your kitchen to eat. Right. So we want all that, but we got to get to a point where we don't want things so fast. We live in a fast society is the challenge, and we just don't make the time. In fact, I was talking to someone this morning who's starting a new position, and she said, and we've talked about this before, she said, and I'm going to do this in this new position. I am going to demand that I have my lunch period. I said, exactly. She said, no ifs, ands, or buts. I said, yes, because when you go in there, and a lot of people do this, they go into a new job, right? And we want to impress. So if we have a meeting through lunchtime, or somebody wants us to work through lunchtime, we're okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, once you do that, you can't come back a month later and say, well, I was thinking, and I need to have my lunch now. And because they're looking at you like, no, why? Like, you've been doing this all along. No. I said, you got to set that from the very beginning. You've got to take control of your life and set those boundaries from the very beginning. And it's the same thing with people being busy and eating. They get like that because they're allowing all these other things to take them. Somebody keeping them at work till 8 o'clock at night and things like that. No, take it back. Take it back. No, I got to go. Take time on the weekend to meal plan what you're going to have for dinner. I tell people all the time, I do Sundays, maybe 3 hours, 3 meals. One's in the crock pot, one's in the oven, one's on the stove. So they're all going at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's for the whole week.
For the whole week.
And then you refrigerate or freeze?
I refrigerate. Well, sometimes I freeze now. When my son was with me, I refrigerated. There was no reason to freeze because he would eat it up. But
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I came up with this method because that way you're not in the kitchen all day. If you do a slow cooker, you do an oven, and you do a stove, they're all going at the same time.
Yeah.
And then at the most, like let's say you put in the oven, let's say you put in some baked chicken or something. The most you have to do really is put some vegetables with it. Well, just get a bag of steamed vegetables, throw it in there for 6 minutes, warm up the chicken, and you guys are ready to go when you get home. So you don't have to stop and grab something and think to grab this or go to the fast food restaurant. So just meal prep on the weekends, and then that way you're set, and it takes so much stress out of your life when you don't have to think every day, what am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? What am I going to give my family? You can easily do it on the
Yeah.
weekend meal prep.
Yeah. One of the biggest issues that people have with meal prepping, which I do that all the time. I'm like a leftover
It's leftovers.
guru. Like I'll cook extra, which is hard with my son. I totally get it. But I'll cook a lot extra and I'll eat leftovers
Yeah.
for, 2, 3, 4 days. Same thing, lunch and dinner sometimes. Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But some people have a real issue with this as far as the taste, the consistency, it's mushy, like all of this extra jazz. Do you have certain foods that you appreciate that like sit well in a refrigerator, or some tricks or anything that you can kind of give?
Usually, so here's what I find is I think it takes a certain palate to not like leftovers because of all the mushiness and stuff, because half the time I don't see what they're talking about. But but things like if you make things like with beans or lentils and you don't cook them too much, they stay well.
Okay.
If you steam your vegetables so they're just crisp and they stay well when you heat them back up in the microwave.
Okay.
They stay well. Even now, if you have meats and things, the thing I find with meats is that what you probably need to do is put some water on them before you put them in the microwave so you don't dry them out when you're heating them up.
Yes.
So things like that will help to preserve, because my son doesn't like leftovers either, but he would eat them.
Yeah.
Because they're cooked a certain way, and you just make sure you don't cook everything to totally done.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need to microwave it again, and the microwave kind of cooks it a little bit anyway. So leave it just so, and then when you put it back in the microwave, it doesn't taste as mushy. It doesn't get overdone. So those are the tricks you can do for that. The other thing is, like you said, if you're going to have it for a while, you can put it in a freezer, because I find that when I take things out of the freezer, if I haven't cooked them too much, they're fine.
Got it.
They're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even, like, my fiance gets super grossed out because I'll take food from the fridge and I'll just I don't use the microwave. So I just put it all in a pan on the stove with a little bit of water for the moisture. And I just mush it up. I call it cat food. Like, I literally, it looks gross. But I don't care. I just mush it all up and get it all heat and all hot. And it's nice and it's freaking delicious.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's, I've had people say that,
the same
gross.
thing.
I don't eat leftovers. It's mushy. It's gross.
That's because they cook it too much. And same thing with grains. Grains keep well, like quinoa and couscous and all. They keep really well in the refrigerator. But the whole thing with all of it is you don't overcook it in the first place.
Yeah.
You just cook it just crispness, like vegetables and everything, just so. Like even the ones you steam in the microwave, if it says 6 minutes, don't do it for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Do it for like 5 minutes or 4.5 minutes.
Yeah. So what is your thought process on 3 square meals a day, snacks, intermittent fasting? Like, what is your go-to for your clients as far as, healthy living?
So my ideal generally is the 3 meals and the snacks. However, like I said, everybody is different. And I definitely have them eat according to their lifestyle at work too. Because that's where it kind of gets off a lot for a lot of people. Like I have one client who was saying that, I'm fine up until lunch and then it goes. She says, because I have meetings here and meetings there and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, okay, so if you know that by the time lunchtime comes, you're not going to get that lunch, but you're eating your breakfast in the morning and you have a mid-morning snack. She said, yes, I said, beef with the snack. just beef up the snack, or maybe just have a little meal at that snack time. So by the time you get to the next meal, you're not starving, because that's when it all gets lost, right? Because then she starts packing it in.
Yeah.
So it depends on their lifestyle. And that's why that part is so important. Some people work jobs, they can only do like maybe the one meal at work. So you're not going to have something, okay, 3 snacks and 3 meals. If you can only do 1 meal at work, you're more than likely going to be 1 meal, lunch, and then dinner, and maybe a snack in the evening, depending on how much you got in during the day. But it's very different. Intermittent fasting, it works for some people. It doesn't work for others. So here's how I see intermittent fasting. And I said to my mother, I said, it's nothing different than growing up. We had intermittent fasting growing up. We ate at 6 a.m. and we were done by 7 p.m. and that was it. I said, it was so structured growing up. You got up at 6 a.m., you ate breakfast because it was time to go to school. You had lunch at school, you came home, you have dinner, and then you might have a snack at night, and it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
I said, it was a block of time that you ate and a whole block of time that you didn't.
Yeah.
I said, so that to me is intermittent fasting. So
yeah. It is. Yeah. That would be like a 12-12.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how, but because of society, people now what they do is they have candy dishes and all kinds of things at work, that they go in lunchroom and get a donut, all that stuff. But there was a time when that didn't really exist, right? So we all ate, we all were on like this intermittent fasting program anyway.
Absolutely.
So
that is interesting, actually. Yeah, all these snacks now.
Yeah.
Bars and fruit snacks and candy. Yeah, but there was a time where there wasn't a whole lot of that.
Nope, there was not a whole lot of that at all.
Yeah, it was like the snack was the banana.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So that's the thing. So, we just have to really, and it's funny because it's happened gradually, right? I mean, it happened so gradually that nobody even realized it was happening. Just like my dad has dishes from when we were younger, but they were family plates. They weren't kids' plates, they were family plates. Mm. And that family cereal bowl, I kid you not, the only amount of cereal it would be able to hold is, back in the day, I don't think they do it anymore, they had variety packs of cereals, the little boxes. It will only hold a box of that. It will not hold any, with milk in the bowl, that's it. You're not getting any more cereal in that bowl than that. Right? But now look at what we're eating. I looked at those plates in his cabinet. I'm like, you still have these? I remember these plates. These are our dinner plates. Our dinner plates look like dessert plates today.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you go back and take a look at where we were and where we are now.
Yes. Yeah, that is one thing that I did pivot into, was using the smaller, I guess, dessert plate. Yes. For my dinner plate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if a lot of people would do that, that would be great, because that really is the portion we should be eating.
And the cool thing is you can overload on that, and you're like, oh yeah, look at me go. But if you put that same size on a big plate, it's kind of sparse.
Yeah.
They're sparse. Yeah. So I do intermittent fasting right now, and I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It goes with my schedule. Right. I feel like it even just goes with me, as like my culture,
right?
And who I am. Like when I first started doing it, I literally had like aha moments as my eating window got smaller, and I was like, this is how my body was made to work for me. Other people, I've talked about it, and they're like, oh, no way.
Right.
No, thanks. So yeah. And I love how you keep it open like that. It's not going to work for everybody.
It's not.
Certain things work for you, but you have to figure out what works for you, keep it realistic, and figure out where you want to be and where you are. I love that.
And see, you've done that because by you finding intermittent fasting that works for you, that's part of that part in the middle, right? Of, if I want to be here, I want to be here. What's going to get me in that happy sweet spot that I can get where I want to get? And you found with intermittent fasting. And that's what people have to be willing to do, is to take a look. And sometimes, guess what? The first thing you try is not going to work. You think it will. Sometimes somebody's told you about it and you try it and it doesn't work, and it is. But when we think about it, how many other things in life are we willing to try over and over again? But when it comes to eating, we're like, well, that didn't work. Okay, whatever. Yeah, no, you just got to find what works. And when you find what works, it's like you said, you feel so wonderful. And
Yeah.
when you do, there is that sense of freedom,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't have to worry about it. It's not something I think
Totally.
about. And my life is free. It's open to do other things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm healthy. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. Without health, there's so many things you cannot do. And that's where we become in bondage to our bodies.
Yeah. And it's kind of like what you were saying earlier, as far as like you're taught all the stuff. You're taught how to work, make money, retirement, but you're never really taught health. Like we don't spend enough time sitting down and experimenting
Right.
with our own health and
Right.
what's working for us. And that's actually a really good insight as far as like, hey, take some time, like, hey, take a couple years
Right.
and play with it a little bit.
Exactly.
See what feels good for you.
Exactly.
Be willing to
Exactly.
pivot. Yeah, it's not about failure. It's about like just allowing yourself to pivot.
Yeah, because there really is no failure.
Yeah.
Failure is when you don't try at all,
Yeah.
right? When you
I
try
want
it.
I want you to talk about your book. I know you have a book called Beating the Odds,
Right.
Gaining and Maintaining a Healthier Eating Lifestyle. When did
Yes.
you write this book?
I wrote that book. Oh, let me remember. It's 2023. It had to be about 2017 or 18.
Awesome. And I know you talk about the pros and cons of weight loss in there.
Right.
Yeah. So let's dive into that for a moment.
Yeah. So the pros and cons I have of weight loss are pros is good, but one of the things you need to take a look at is how are you doing it? And I even have a section in there where I talk about commercial diets are a good thing. I mean, I'm not saying anything against any commercial diet, right? But what I'm saying to you is be careful about the commercial diet that you go on. Look into it. Is it
Mm.
going to work for you? And is it something, because with commercial diets, I do believe they should be made for you to eventually leave them. I don't believe anybody should be on a commercial diet for life. So if you are going on a commercial diet, the whole time you're on it, and I say this in the book, is find ways that you can get yourself off of it at the same time. If you're eating their foods, right? Look at the foods that you're eating. See how you can find healthier versions of those foods that you like and start making them for yourself.
Mm.
Okay. Learn from that commercial diet. Don't just be a consumer. Learn from the commercial diet and learn how to do these things for yourself, because right now you're eating the portions and you've got the food. So look for healthy, say healthier eating lifestyle on Google. You can say healthy version of chicken Parmesan, and they'll show you a healthy version of it.
Okay.
So you're not on it, because the thing about the commercial diets too is that some of them have foods, have chemicals and stuff in them too, right? They do. And you don't want to have that your whole life. You don't. So you want to use it as a way to learn. And the other thing about a commercial diet that is good, because since it's structured like that, it gives you time to learn you. How are you living your life? How do you want your life to go? What are we going to need to do to be able to keep this way? And one of the things, like I said, is learning how to make some of these foods yourself and go ahead and, get the ingredients and do it yourself. And the con is when you don't do that and you stay on the commercial diet, because the other thing that happens is you start to get bored of the food. And guess what happens when you get bored of the food? You start going out. McDonald's is looking good. Burger King is looking good. All these other things are looking good. And the thing that people don't realize is that they are getting bored with the food. They don't understand that that's why now they've stepped out to get something else. Because I've had people say to me before, yeah, I had the food right there. I don't know why I didn't eat it, but I grabbed this, and I'm like, you're not eating it because you're bored of the food.
Yeah.
Bored of the food. That's what's happening to you. So now it's time to find something else to do. Let's see how we can get off of this and, get you some healthy food that you can make yourself that's quick and easy, because you're going to keep going out there as long as you're faced with this.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Melinda Starr here. I love this. We haven't actually talked about this, but we can read this whole thing. But at the end, she says, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
That too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you read this comment?
Yes, it says, yes, yes, yes. This morning was time to prep high value rewards for my 2 dogs, and we'll make sure to prepare high value rewards for the humans. Intermittent fasting works, and hydrate. And yes, hydrate is so important. Most people are not drinking enough water. So what I'm going to tell you about that is they will say, you need to have 8-ounce glasses of water daily. Okay. Well, that really doesn't make any sense, because why would I be drinking the same amount of water as somebody 300 pounds? It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So really what it should be is you should really be drinking half your body weight in water daily. Right? In order to stay hydrated, because our body is 60% water, and so we definitely need to, and it needs to be water. I mean, people say to me, can I drink tea? I'm like, tea has stuff in it. I mean, can you at least just try and drink the water, have the water and add some lemon or add some cucumber or something, add some cucumber, add some lemon, but just try and get some water. Because the thing I find is, if I say, oh, yes, tea is fine, then that's all you're drinking. And your body needs water. It's the water that flushes everything out. It really is the water that does it. And when people start to drink water, and I start people small, if they're not even drinking 16 ounces a day, I'm like, okay, let's start with the 16 ounces. Let's do that for a week and see what we can do.
I've had people that don't drink water.
I know, me too. And I'm like, you've got to drink water. And so those people, I've had one person like that. Okay, let's try 6 ounces for the day, just 6, and then you build on it. And then when people get to drinking water, it's like they can't live without it now.
Yeah.
Because they get so thirsty without it, they know they need to hydrate. And hydrating does your skin, oh my goodness, it does wonders for your skin. It does wonders for your brain. Yeah. It does wonders for everything. So hydration is key. And the thing is that at this time of year when it's really hot, I tell people too that, okay, so you need to up the water right now. That water you were drinking in the winter, it needs to be higher because now it's hot. Yeah. And it's escaping you, but you don't even realize it because you may not feel like it, but it is. I said, so up your water intake in the summer and the spring, mainly in the summer, because you're going to get dehydrated. And when I put that in their mind, because they don't think about it, so it's about planting the thought in the mind. So they think about it, and then they'll realize it when they get thirsty. And a lot of times they'll go grab the water instead of grabbing maybe the lemonade or something else, because it's hydration. And the other thing about hydration is when you're hungry, it's true. When you're hungry, drink water first, because 9 times out of 10, you are dehydrated. You are not hungry. You are not hungry. You are not hungry. Yeah. You've got to drink your water first, because that's why I think we also have a society that has become so obese, because we eat whenever we think we're hungry. And that's not the case. Yeah. You need to drink your water first, because a lot of times you are just dehydrated. So you're feeding your body and it's still asking for something because that's not what it needed. And it's still asking for something, you're giving it to it, but it's the wrong thing. Yeah. It's dehydration.
Yeah. 100. I'm obsessed with water. I actually stopped drinking pretty much everything when I got pregnant. Mm-hmm. All colas, all caffeine. I never really drank coffee, and just pretty much went to water. I do drink juices and smoothies.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I drink water all day, every day, and lemon is like my fave. Yeah, these 2 glasses that I drink has lemon, real lemon squeezed in it. Mm-hmm. And it's delish. Well, this has been absolutely fantastic. We have a ton of people watching live right now. I would love first of all, hello to those of you watching live. Thank you for being here and hanging out with us. If you are watching us on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. But I want to ask Duanita, for those watching live, they're obviously resonating with what you're saying. They are here. They're loving it all. And I want to ask, who should be contacting you? So like, what specifically do you do, and what type of person should be contacting you?
Okay. So specifically what I do is I help women 50 and over, but I will tell you, I train women who are 40 and 32. So I picked the 50 plus niche just because those are the women that when they get aches and pains, they think it's supposed to be that way, and it's not. But I have trained women in their 30s, 40s, and 20s as well. So don't let the age be the thing. But what I do is I take them and I help them my phrase is, I help you show up for yourself. right? So I get to know you and what your life is and what you're looking for. And then I design exercise, nutrition, and healthy lifestyle, all for what you are looking for and what you want to do. And keep an open mind, because you may tell me that's what you want in the beginning. And as we go along, you can pivot on me, and that's okay. I'm letting you know you can pivot on me, because life throws pivots. So those are the people, and it's people who either want to start their journey. It could be somebody who's on their journey and they're stuck, and they need a jump start on that journey. Okay. It can be people who, it's no such thing as, oh, I'm too far gone, or I don't have this. It doesn't matter. I mean, even with exercise, I do my training online, and I have trained people with no equipment at all because body weight is amazing.
Yeah.
So, don't think, oh, well, I don't have a gym in my house, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We can work with anything, work without it, with it. It doesn't matter. So
that is true. Yeah. Because our bodies are over 100 pounds. I mean, most people are,
exactly.
At least 100 pounds, not more. Yeah, that's a lot of weight.
It is. And so when you use that weight, right, and it's resisting itself, it's great. So you don't have to have weights. So it's basically for any women who are 50 plus, who want to be on a health journey, who want to go on a health journey, and really want to get to a point in life where they can maintain it, and they're not yo-yoing back and forth with going back. Oh, I'm back here. Oh, I need to find something else to do it again. Or somebody who's on their health journey and they may be stagnant, and they need to get off of that stagnant and move forward to where they want to be. That's who it's for. And it doesn't matter if you have joint issues or anything. I work with joint issues. Trust me, I know what joint muscle issues are. I was a chiropractic assistant for a few years. So I'm very aware of how to handle joint issues and what we need to do for those. And just be prepared that even when you train with me, without me, I may ask you to do some things, because one thing about your metabolism, taking it on and off is a challenge. Working it one day and then saying, I'm going to sit back the next day. No, we want to get it in a rhythm. Mm-hmm. It needs to be in a rhythm. It needs to be trained.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Your website is maturefitandfab.com.
Yes.
Where do you hang out on social media? Where can people follow you? Where do you hang out the most?
I hang out the most probably on YouTube. So it's YouTube, it's www.youtube.com. It's at Duanita Norman, the @ symbol, and Duanita Norman, lowercase letters. I also Instagram. My Instagram is Mature Fit and Fabulous. And I also do have a Facebook, which is also Mature Fit and Fabulous. So those three are where I really hang out at.
Fantastic. Oh, did you say you have a Facebook group?
I have a Facebook page.
Oh, page. Mm-hmm. Mature Fit and Fab.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fabulous. I love that. One of my first, when I first got started as an entrepreneur, what was the name of my company? Living Fabulous. That's so funny. Oh, that brought me back. That's nice. Well, this has been absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate you coming on, teaching us all the things. Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I really, I started out in life with a heart murmur and had to have surgery as a young girl. And I took penicillin every time I went to the dentist and would almost get sick. And when I got older, I started asking, why am I still taking this if my heart is okay? And they said, well, because you had surgery. So that started my journey into fitness. Like, I'm going to have a strong heart. So I started aerobics. I'm like, I'm going to aerobics. I started going to aerobics at 25 because I want to have a strong heart. I want to be here for a long time. And then over the years, it just evolved and I just enjoyed it. And it feels so good to be fit. And I just think that everybody should have a chance to live their best life possible. And I know that it starts with health, because without health, you can't have anything else. And so I just do it because I have a passion to want every woman to live her best life, and to help her to get there, because it thrills me, absolutely thrills me when my clients reach their goals. Thrills me, makes me so happy.
I would have loved to have you in my aerobics class.
So much fun.
You were so much fun.
I loved it. And step aerobics, stepping around the step, going around the circles. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Girl, I used to love step aerobics.
Yes, it was, and it went away. I'm like, why?
Dude, I was doing step aerobics. I mean, I'm a little younger than you, but in high school, it was my first time I ever took step aerobics, and we were doing step aerobics to Richard Simmons.
Yes.
Dude, I loved it.
Yes. Step
I
aerobics was
absolutely loved
wonderful.
it.
It was wonderful.
Well, this has been fantastic. I so appreciate you coming on, sharing some goodness with you. For those of you watching live and on the replay, if you resonate with Duanita and all the goodness that she shared, make sure to connect with her. Her website is maturefitandfab.com. It should be in a clickable link in the description wherever you're watching us at. She predominantly hangs out on Facebook, Insta, and YouTube. We love to connect people here on this platform in order to make sure we all continue to rise. As we close up, closing thoughts, Duanita, what do you got?
My closing thoughts is for everyone out there, please, I mean, being healthy, I almost can't even put in words how good it feels. When I have people my age and I see what they're going through, it breaks my heart. It really does. And so this journey is not as hard as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to help you if you want me to help you, but it's not as hard as you think it is. Don't think it's impossible, because there's nothing impossible. And you are so worth it. You are so worth it. Just know that you are worth it. We are all worth it.
Yeah, 100. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That brings us to an end of yet another incredible episode of Her Talk Show. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our amazing guest speaker, Duanita, for sharing her wisdom and inspiring us all. To each and every one of you, our dedicated listeners, thank you for staying with us until the very end. Your support and engagement means the world to us. Make sure you follow, like, and share. Once again, I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation, filled with women just like this who are stepping up into powerful, confident women. They're dropping the blame game. They're dropping the victimhood. They're dropping the old stories, and they are living their best life. Until next time.